Hello, sports fans. My name is Mark Mortier from Yesterday Sports. You're about to jump into another thrilling sports history moment. But first, let's dive into today's sponsor, just in time for the holiday season. Introducing Art of Words, the brainchild of word artist Dan Duffy from Philadelphia. Dan meticulously crafts stunning images by hand writing relevant words from some of the greatest sports moments in time. These unique, budget-friendly illustrations are the perfect gift, sparking cherished memories and capturing hearts. Choose from city skylines, sports, history, and musicians to find a piece for everyone. And here's the exciting part. For that sports fanatic in your life, gift them a piece of their favorite team or player's history. Art of Words tells a compelling story. Explore collegiate stadiums, each meticulously crafted with every football victory etched in words. Or venture into baseball stadiums, handwritten with every player from the team's illustrious history. Don't wait. Order a print today for yourself and your loved ones this holiday season. Transform your wall into a gallery of captivating art and surprise your family and friends with a print of their own. Use code SHN15 at artofwords.com for a 15% discount on your order in November and December. Visit Art of Words, where words magically transform into stunning art, evoking cherished memories and touching the hearts of those you care about. Again, use the code SHN15 for 15% off at artofwords.com.
Welcome, sports fan, and back to the show. One Guy with a Mic presents Dingers and Dunks. This is our 2022 MLB in review, along with our 2023 preview. This episode, we're going to talk about the American League. I know last year, for all you OGs of this show, we did 7 episodes last year. We did every single division, plus the playoffs as well. Well, this year, we're going to trim that down to 3 episodes. We're going to do 2 episodes of each league, and then we're going to do the playoffs as well. I mean, obviously the playoffs, we'll probably just throw it on the back end of the National League, because the playoffs probably won't take that long to do, and there's no sense making a 10-minute podcast. So, yeah. So, welcome back. I know it's been a while. A lot's changed. I got a little more free time on my hands. So, I've been trying to put together some ideas to make the show better, to be more available online as well, and future's bright. That's all I gotta say. Stay tuned. Stay tuned in. Also, one of my coworkers and I, we're starting to form a podcast together about wrestling, so make sure you turn into that one, because that's going to be a hoot. We don't have a name yet. We don't have what we're going to do yet, but we have the idea out there. So that's going to come up. That's a yet to be determined date for that release. So a lot of big things going on in the One Guy with the Mic universe over here. That's for sure. Like I said, we're going to talk about the American League today, and we're not going to talk about my standings in order on some of these these divisions. Okay. I just randomly picked how we're going to do it with the teams, and then afterwards, after we review all the teams, then I'll give you a breakdown of, I'll tell you who I think is going to win the divisions of each one, okay? So that's what the goal is for today. I know that some of y'all are probably waiting for that part 3 of my Negro League series, which I have that coming up. Planning on releasing that next week. It's a few weeks old, but like I said, a few things changed, so I got a little bit more hectic not really hectic my like, but some things changed, so therefore we had to therefore we just had to do some things differently for now, which is fine. It happens, right? So we're going to continue to make that happen. I don't think it's. I think I'm going to change the format of that a little bit because I think it's going to be more of an opinion piece. I got a lot to get off my chest on that as well, especially with the Hall of Fame and everything. So that's that. The dunk side of things. Not really hitting a whole lot on the dunks. We got the NBA playoffs coming up. So that's always exciting and fun. I really got to get back into the jersey segment of it all as well. So the dunks are taking a little backseat. I love to coach basketball. I'd love to play basketball. It's one of my more, fond times of things doing. But my real knowledge, my real depth of sports, goes really into baseball. I mean, baseball, I played from the time I was 4 years old all the way up till I was 15, and then even after that, I played slow pitch softball. So, I mean, I've been born and raised on the diamond, as per se. So I have a little bit more fire, a little bit more excitement when it comes to baseball on the history side of things. So yeah, that takes a little bit backseat. Basketball takes a little backseat, but basketball still is a passion of mine. So for all you basketball fans out there that turn into for the dunk side of it, we'll get some episodes out there for you. It's going to be few and far between. I'm going to try to do a basketball episode at least once every month from here on out. Okay? So, a little did you know for you before we start up in here that Ken Griffey Jr. is officially the top 10 player being paid on the Cincinnati Reds this year with a $3.5 million contract. How does that per se happen? Well, we talk about Bobby Bonilla Day every July 1st when he gets his $1.8 million from the Mets. Well, Ken Griffey Jr. gets $3.59 million from the Reds this year and for the next 5-6 years. Because, Bernie Madoff, when he owned not Madoff, but, when the former Mets owners did the whole thing with the deferment and everything else, other players saw that too and lashed on it as well. So Ken Griffey is also a guy we should be celebrating on opening day because he's making $3.59 million. And the best part of it all is he probably could still go out there and hit 20 dingers as well because the kid's got it. So we're going to start with the AL East today. All right, we're going to start with the Baltimore Orioles. They were the surprise team last year. Up and comers. Nobody really knew that they were going to do as well as they did. And they shocked a lot of fans, except for this guy. All right? If you go back to last year's episode, you can definitely tell in the AL East, I didn't think the Orioles were going to be that bad. Not as bad as everybody was thinking. And you know what? They weren't that bad. They went 83-79. They finished 16 games back, but that Yankee squad was just tremendous last year. Was just by far just a juggernaut what that Yankees team was. The Pythagorean, I like to talk about the Pythagorean formula here, which is basically runs scored, it's basically A plus B equals C. This is basically what it works out to. They had them at 79 and 83, so, it was a little flip-flop, but because they only scored 675 runs last year and gave up 688, so that's why. Their top three players, for their top three position players last year was Adley Rutschman, Cedric Mullins, and Ramon Urias. Their best pitchers were Cionel Perez, Dean Kramer, and Felix Bautista. All right. So, a good squad last year. They made some additions. Definitely made some additions this year. I don't think it's going to be enough to put them over the top, make the playoffs, but, they'll have that little push because the East is just too damn good. They did lose some players, so their key losses was Jordan Lyles and Jesus Aguilar. Their key additions, though, they added pitching with Kyle Gibson, and they also will be getting John Means back at some point this year, too. So I know he's on the roster already, but having that guy come back and be able to plug him in as your fourth or fifth starter is going to be huge for these guys. On the position side, they got Adam Frazier, Michael Givens. I guess Michael Givens is a pitcher, my bad. James McCann, Cole Irvin, the guy is on the mound, on the bump now, too. He's going to probably be their ace. And they got Ryan O'Hearn as well. So I project that their lineup's going to be Adley Rutschman at catcher, Adam Frazier at second base. Shortstop is going to be Jorge Mateo. Gunnar Henderson, Mr. Rookie of the Year candidate right there, is going to be playing third, holding down that 3-bag. I got Austin Hayes playing left field. Cedric Mullins playing center, obviously, because Cedric Mullins likes to go get it. That's for sure. Right field, we got Anthony Santander. At your DH, we're going to have a little rotation going on here between Frenchie Cordero, Kyle Stowers, Luan Diaz, and Ryan O'Hearn. I think all those guys are going to play DH at some point and play a little first base, play a little outfield. So, definitely think there's going to be a little pop in this lineup as well. As I said, pitching staff, we're going to go Cole Irvin right off the bump. He's going to be our day one starter. Got Kyle Gibson going number 2, Dean Kramer going number 3, Kyle Bradish 4, Grayson Rodriguez, we're going with our 5 starter, all right? You throw in Tyler Wells as our 6th. John Means, when he comes back, probably going to slide right into that fourth or fifth spot. Then we got your main bullpen as well. Here we go. We got Felix Bautista as our closer. Dude is going to be lights out. Jorge Lopez was great last year. Then they traded him to the Twins, and then Bautista just went off from that setup role. Then you got your 2 setup men are going to be Sanel Perez and Dylan Tate. They're going to be your setup guys. You got your middle relievers. It's going to be Michael Givens, Brian Baker. There's your setup. And Logan Gillespie. Those are going to be your setup guys. Then your long guys are going to be DL Hall and Bruce Zimmerman. All right. BaseballProspectus.com. I love these guys. They have a lot of insight. They got a lot of formulas going into. They have the Orioles projected to go 74.4 and 87.6, right? I think that's pretty low, man. They did add some bats, they add some pitching, and I understand that the AL East is really tough, but you still got to play the rest of the AL. So you're going to play like the likes of Oakland. You're going to still play the likes of the Red Sox. You're going to still play the likes of the White Sox, because I don't think the White Sox are going to be that great this year. You got the Royals, the Tigers. I mean, all they got, as a baseball philosophy, if you win 2 out of every 3 games, guess what? That's a 667 winning precision, boys and girls. That is playoff material. That's winning a division. Do I think they're going to win 2 out of every 3 games? No, I do not. I think they're going to win about 84 games, 85 games. They're going to win 1 or 2 more than what they did last year, and they're going to make the Yankees and the Blue Jays sweat in this division. All right? So, there you have it. 84-win team with the Baltimore Orioles. Put it down, write it up, send it in, boys and girls. Next up, we got the Boston Red Sox. 2022 was a bad year for them. I said this going into 2022. I just want to reiterate how right on I was with my predictions last year. So, if you're listening to this podcast and want your MLB show, MLB Preview, and you want to go make those bets, go for it, man. Listen to me. I got your numbers. I do the math. I do the stats. Break it all down for you, just like we do every single week. All right. So the Boston Red Sox, they went 78 and 84 last year. They finished 21 games back, man. 21 games back. That was a horrendous time. I always thought the worst signing ever of the offseason was Trevor Story, and I was proven correctly, as he had a horrible year. Sorry, Trevor Story, if you're listening to this. I don't like to brag about how horrible a year it was, but I predicted it. Maybe you have a little better bump now that you maybe come off the injured list and get back to shortstop. Maybe not. I don't know. Hopefully you do bounce back because, I like you, Trevor Story. Anyways, the Pythagorean had them at 76 and 86. So, again, right on the money, almost. 2 games off. I'm giving it to you. All right. They had 735 runs scored last year, but they gave up 787, my guys. That is, you score 735, Your defense should not be giving up 787. Pitching staff should not be giving up 787. But here's the problem with the Red Sox is right here. Their top 3 position players, number 1, Xander Bogaerts. You know where Xander Bogaerts playing at right now? San Diego. That's right. He signed a deal with San Diego because the Red Sox didn't pull the trigger on it, all right? You also had Rafael Devers. You also had Trevor Story. There's your top 3 position players. Again, it's kind of a low bar, okay? Trevor Story was like their 12th best player on the team last year, okay? Top pitchers were Michael Wacha, John Schreiber, Nick Pivetta, all right? They have some key additions, though, this year, all right? They have Masataka Yoshida, Justin Turner, Adam Duvall, Adalberto Mondesi. They got Richard Blyer, Corey Kluber, Kenley Jensen, Chris Martin, Joely Rodriguez. But the biggest loss, their only loss I really care about, is Xander Bogaerts. All right? You lost Bogey. That's all I'm saying. All right, your projected lineup is going to be at catcher. We got Reese McGuire behind the plate. We got Tristan Casas at first. We got Christian Arroyo at second. Enrique Hernandez at shortstop because Trevor Story is hurt currently. Alberto Mondesi is hurt right now. You got Rafael Devers at third base. You got Masataka Yoshida in left field. Adam Duvall is going to play your center. Alex Verdugo is in right, and Justin Turner is going to be your DH. All right? Those boys are going to apply some pop, but you don't have enough pop in this lineup to be effective in that AL East against those pitching staffs that they have rolling out. Starting pitchers, we got Chris Sale, Nick Pivetta, Corey Kluber, James Paxton, and Garrett Whitlock. All right, number 1 starter is going to be Pivetta. He's coming out on the ball right away. Sale's going to be your number 2. Not a bad 1-2 combination there. Your bullpen's looking at Kenley Jansen is going to be at your closer. We got John Schreiber as your setup guy. Chris Martin's your other setup guy. Joely Rodriguez is playing setup as well. Richard Bleiler, I can't even pronounce that guy's last name, but that's okay, is going to be your middle relief, right? We got Ryan Brazier as your middle relief, all right? You got your long guys, John Winikowski. I don't think I pronounced that bad, but that's all right. Long guy, Cutter Crawford. Long guy, Brian Matta. Here's one guy that you're going to really think about this year, Brian Bello. He's going to be that 5th starter come May. Brian Bello. He's going to throw some gas. Throw that heat. All right, man? So, baseballprospectus.com. Really generous to these guys, right? So, they're saying that they're going to finish 79.6 and 82.4. They haven't been finishing above the Orioles. I don't think that's the case. The Red Sox are going to finish dead last again. Okay? I don't want to say this team is bad, but they will struggle. Okay? It will be more of the same. Just saying. So I'm saying they're going to win about 75, 78 games. All right? They're going to finish last in the East. It's going to be another day, another dollar. You know? So, it'll be okay. All you Red Sox fans, you better enjoy those championships you got, boys and girls, because it's going to be a long time coming before you get another. All right? Next up, we got the New York Yankees. My boys, my green guys, the pinstripers, you know, the Mr. I built Jader Bay, built the new Yankee Stadium. Ruth built the old one, right, man? That's how we do it around here. We eat a lot of pizza pie, too, guys. Yeah. All right, man? New York Yankees just smoked the competition in the AL East last year. That's all there is to it. They went 99-63. Finished first place. You know what they did? They lost in the ALCS. You know to who? The Houston Astros, who've had their number for the last, 7-8 postseasons. What can I say, guy? All right? Then you got the Pythagorean. We're supposed to go 106-56. They underachieved. They scored 807 runs, boys and girls. They only allowed 567. And you didn't even break 100 wins, son. It was a little struggle there in the second half, though. They were looking really good that first half, but then they really struggled in the back half. That's all I got to say. All right, top 3 players. You're looking at Aaron Judge, of course. Guy almost had a triple count last year. He was a couple batting points behind Luis Arraez, who's now with the Miami Marlins, former Minnesota Twin. Much love to my guy. All right, you got Gleyber Torres. You know, Mr. Cubby. Just saying. Came from the Cubs farm as part of that Aroldis Chapman trade that the Cubs did in 2016 to get that World Series ring bought and paid for. After that, they haven't done squat yet. Just saying. DJ LeMahieu is the top 3 player there. All right. For position players, by the way. You got your pitchers. You got Nestor Cortez, obviously. And no, Jim Klatt, you were wrong. He's not that. All right, cool. Just saying. All right, you got Garrett Cole. You got Michael King. Okay, they had some key additions this year. They got Carlos Rodon and Tommy Cannelly. All right, they did lose Jameson Taillon. Not a big deal. He did come to the Cubs though. Just saying. Love that guy. All right, they did lose Chad Cain out of the bullpen, and they also lost Matt Carpenter, who was a great midseason pickup, by the way. Added that extra bat, the little left-handed pop. You know, a really resurgence year for Matt Carpenter. Actually rooted for him. You know why? Because he wasn't a flipping Cardinal. That's why, boys and girls. Okay, next up, we got the projected starters here. Jose Trevino, Mr. Follower on Twitter of my guy Mike Dro. All right, he's a Mike Dro fan. Mike Dro's a fan of his. That's how we do that, okay? We got Anthony Rizzo, Tony, as I like to call him. Big Tony, Big T. Mister, I got more defense than I should have. I should have more gold gloves with that defense I got, all right? He's got more pop now since he's out hitting in Yankee Stadium as well, which is great. I love to see it. Big T, big time. He's playing first base. You got Gleyber Torres playing second, all right? Just announced this weekend, Anthony Volpe is going to be your starting shortstop. Sorry, IKF, but you gone, son. You gone. Good, ride that pine. Get traded, son. You gone. I actually had Anthony Volpe taking that spot over by July. Never would have thought in a million years he'd be open today shortstop. Youngest since Derek Jeter, the captain. You know, what you going to do? Josh Donaldson's playing in third base. You got Aaron Hicks out in left, right? Okay, good deal. Harrison Bader currently hurt, so guess who's playing center field? Oswaldo Cabrera, I believe. Yeah, yep, Oswaldo Cabrera, because the Prez guy didn't make it. That's why. Prez didn't make it. You got Aaron Judge in right. Then you got Giancarlo Stanton as your DH, and DJ LeMahieu is going to be your utility player. And he's going to be playing all 6 positions in the infield, man. Just saying. All right, next up. Well, I shouldn't say all 6 because, you know, he doesn't play catcher. But he will be playing 6 positions like usual. First, second, third, left field, right field. Dude's a beast. That's all I got to say. I love DJ LeMahieu. Best thing the Yankees did was get him. Your starting pitchers are looking like Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, Nestor Cortez, Luis Servino, Domingo Germán, and Frankie Montas you got as well. You got Clark Schmidt. He's going to be filling in for Luis Servino right now as he's hurt. All right. You got your closer. You got Clay Holmes. You got Jonathan Loaiza as your setup. Wandy Peralta as a setup. You got Michael King as middle relief. Lou Trevino. Who forgets that trade that they made with the A's, where they brought Lou Trevino over last year? He really didn't do much. You got Tommy Cannelly as your other middle relief. Your long guys are going to be Devi Garcia, Randy Vasquez, and Clark Schmidt. Again, all right, I got him projected to win 95 wins, finish in first place, best record in the AL. Enough said. Okay? With that standing pat offensively and adding a few guys on defense, on the pitching staff, just makes them more dangerous. Okay? Baseball Perspectives, 95.8 and 66.2. Hey, we're right on the money, Baseball Perspectives. Love you guys. Okay, just saying. Now, let's go with the Tampa Bay Rays, or Tampa Rays, because you know what? It's the Bay. We're just naming the whole area Tampa Bay. Here we go. The Tampa Bay Rays, they went in 2022, they went 86 and 76. They lost in the wild card versus the Cleveland Guardians. Okay? Their Pythagorean had them at 87 and 75. See, I'm telling you that Pythagorean is right on the money, boys and girls. That's the stat you got to look at. Here's another deal. They scored 666 runs last year. Excuse me, I got a little hair in my throat. All right, they allowed 614 runs, though. Their top 3 players were Yandy Diaz, Randy Arozona, or Arazorina. I don't know. Randy A. I'm just going to call him Randy A because I can't pronounce that last name for some reason. Taylor Walls, right? Their top 3 starters are going to be Shane McClanahan, Jeffrey Springs, and Drew Rasmussen. Their key additions was Zach Eflin from the Philadelphia Phillies. They lost Kluber, not a big deal. They lost Yarbrough, not a real big deal. G-Man Cho, they lost him to the Pirates. Yeah, it's going to be a big deal. Kevin Kiermaier, kind of a big deal. Mike Zunino, kind of a big deal. But their catcher is going to be Christian Betancourt. Their first base is going to be Diaz. Their second base, Brandon Lowe. Shortstop, Wander Franco. Left field is going to be Randy A. I didn't even put a third baseman on their team. What was I thinking? I did not do this very well, boys and girls. So Forgot a third baseman. Jose Sirius is going to play center field, and Manuel Margot is going to play right, and Harold Ramirez is going to be your designated hitter. Okay? Then, for their pitching staff, you're going to have McClanahan starting day one. You got Drew Rasmussen, Zach Elfin as your 2-3. Jeffrey Springs is going to be your 4. And Chironis is going to be your 5th. Your closer is going to be by committee. Just saying. You got Pete Fairbanks. You got Jason Adam. You got Colton Dock as well. Your setup guy is going to be Jalen Beeks. You got your middle reliever, which is going to be Garrett Clevenger, and Colby White. And then you got Taj Brad. He's going to get called up at some point. I'm pretty sure about that as well. All right. I got them winning 85, 86 games. Maybe 80. We'll go 88. Let's go 88. That way that puts them ahead of the Orioles there. Baseball Prospectus has them going 86.3 and 75.7. Yeah, again, Tampa, Baltimore might be a team that battle for that second wild card spot, but I think the consistency of this team, and they just don't have to make a run. They lost they got a pretty good staff, but they lost a hell of a catcher in Zunino. So, there we go. That's your AL East. 4 of your 5 in your AL East. We got the Toronto Blue Jays. We're going north of the border, guys. Everybody, let's go north of the border where we say A and Bay, and I don't know. They got like Drake up there. I mean, Drake's not a bad guy. Anyways, Toronto Blue Jays. We're going 92 and they went 92 and 70 last year. Finished second place. Lost in the wild card to Seattle. The Pythagorean had them 91 and 71. They had 775 runs scored, but they gave up 671. Their top 3 players, boys and girls: George Springer, Alejandro Kirk, Vlad Guerrero Jr. Top 3 pitchers: Alek Manoah, Kevin Gausman, and Jordan Romano, who's probably one of the more consistent closers in the major leagues right now. Your key additions were Dalton Varsho, Brandon Belt, Kevin Kiermaier, Chris Bassett, Chad Green. Look at that. You got a Yankee and a Tampa Bay Ray. Their key losses, they did trade away Teoscar Hernandez, Gabriel Moreno, Ross Stripling left, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is also not available. Their starting lineup is going to be Alejandro Kirk, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Whit Merrifield at second, Bo Bichette at short, Matt Chapman at third, Dalton Varsho out in left, Kevin Kiermaier in center, George Springer in right, and Brandon Belt as your DH. Remember when they were talking about Kevin Biggio and Bo Bichette and Vlad Guerrero being the future of this team? Yeah, that's really has just came down to Bo Bichette and Vlad Guerrero now. So, I mean, Kevin Biggio is still going to be your be a utility player. So your starting 5 pitchers are going to look like this. Alek Manoah is starting the bump of day one. Okay, Kevin Gausman, Jose Barreros, Chris Bassett, UC Kikuchi. I probably said that last name wrong because I'm horrible at name, folks, as you may know. Next up, you got Jordan Romano, Adam Simber you got Jordan Romano as a closer, Adam Simber as a setup, Anthony Bass as a setup, Chad Green as middle relief, Eric Swanson middle relief, Yimi Garcia as middle relief as well. You got Zach Thomason playing your long guy. You got Trent Thornton long, and you got Hyunjin Ryu as your long as well. I got him projected as second place, behind the AL East. They'll probably be the third best team in the AL, maybe. They're definitely going to get about 90, 92 wins. Pitching is just too good. Their offense is really good as well. And they got a good balance of lefty-righty. And they got that 3-headed monster in Vlad Guerrero, Bo Bichette, and Springer. Baseball Prospectus have them going 89 and 72. So, there's your AL East. That's how we do it around these parts. All right. Oh man, we're already 27 minutes into this bad boy. This is going to be a fun time, boys and girls. All right, next up we got the AL Century. AL Central, not AL Century, AL Central. First up, Chicago White Sox. They went 81 and 81 last year. Finished in second place, 11 games behind that 500. The Pythagoreans said they were supposed to be 79 and 84. They did score 687 runs, but gave up 717. Wow. Top 3 players: Jose Abreu, he gone. He's now with the Astros. Luis Robert, Jr., Elvis Andrus, your top 3 position players. Your top 3 pitchers are going to be Dylan Cease, Johnny Cueto, I think he's gone too, and Michael Kopech. Your key additions was Andrew Benintendi, Mike Clevenger, Elvis Andrus. Yeah, sure. All right, cool. Because they re-signed him. Gregory Santos, Franklin Herman, and they kept Tim Anderson as well. Your key losses are definitely Jose Abreu, Johnny Cueto, A.J. Pollock, Josh Harrison, Vince Velasquez, Adam Engel, Denny Mendrick, Burnett Sousa, and Jason Blouse. You lost all those guys. That's a big hit. A little bit of everything, boys and girls. All right. I got their projected starting lineup as catcher, Yasmani Grandal. First base, Andrew Vaughn. Second base, Elvis Andrus. Shortstop, Tim Anderson. Third base, Yohan Mankota. Left field, Andrew Benintendi. Center field, Luis Roberts Jr. Right field, Gavin Sheets or Yolique Cespedes. And your DH is Eloy Jimenez. Your pitching staff, right off the gate, we're going to go Dylan Cease. We got Lance Lynn behind him. Lucas Giallo third. Michael Kopech fourth. Mike Clevenger fifth. You got your closer as Kendall Graveman. Setup man is going to be Liam Hicks. Other closer, I should say, is going to be Liam Hicks. Your setup guy is going to be Ronaldo. I can't even pronounce that name either. Ronaldo Lopez. I can't read my writing. That's the problem. Other setup guy is Aaron Bummer. Setup guy is Garrett Crochet. Mr. Joe Kelly is going to be middle relief. You got Franklin Herman as middle relief. Gregory Santos is middle relief as well. Your long guys are going to be Davis Martin and Jimmy Lambert. Okay? Horrible offseason. Lost better players than what they brought in. Definitely not a 500 team. Baseball Prospectus has them at 78 and 83. I'm saying more like 74 win team. Not that great of an offseason for them. Next up, we got the Cleveland Guardians from Ohio. All right, they're 2022. They were 92 and 70, first place. Lost in the ALDS to the New York Yankees. All right, their Pythagorean had them at 88 and 74. Not a bad deal. They had 698 runs scored. They gave up 635 runs, or 634 runs. Andres Jimenez, who just got the bag 2 days ago, it was their top player. Jose Ramirez came in second. Steve Kwan, who started off great last year, was your top 3 players right there. Your top pitchers, you got Tristan McKenzie, Shane Bieber, and Emmanuel Clase. Just saying. Then, here's the 2 guys you just add. You just got better at first base with Josh Bell, and you just got better at catcher with Mike Zunino. Your key losses are going to be Austin Hedges, Brian Shaw, Luke Mel, and Kirk McCarthy. But you're going to, like I said, you're going to have Zunino at catcher, Bell at first, Jimenez is playing second, Rosario is playing short, Ramirez is playing third, Kwan is playing left, Miles Straw is playing center, Oscar Gonzalez is playing right, and Josh Naylor is going to be your DH. Not a bad little lineup, if I say myself. All right. Pitching-wise, we got a starter right off the gate is going to be Shane Bieber. Okay. Then we're going to follow that up with Tristan McKenzie, Cal Quantrell, Aaron Savali, Zach Plesac. Just saying. All right. Your closer is going to be Emmanuel Clase, James, and then you got your setup guy is James Karachek. Setup guy is Trevor Steven. Middle relief is Eli Morgan. Middle relief is going to be Inyel De Los Santos. And another middle relief is going to be Nick Sandlin. All right. You got Connor Plinkington is playing along. Probably be another starter thrown in there as well. You got Jason Blouse as a long, and you got Xavier Curry as maybe a starter long guy as well. Definitely upgraded at catcher. Definitely upgraded at first base. Huge upgrades. Baseball Prospectus has them going 87 and 0.9 and 74.1. I'm saying it's going to be right there at 91. It's going to be a dogfight with them and the next team for first place in the AL Central. And that team is going to be the Minnesota Twinkies, where they like to say Minnesota because back in the 60s, they didn't they didn't want to leave St. Paul out, and after the Minneapolis Lakers had left, they made it to where all professional teams have to be named Minnesota, so that way everybody feels incorporated. So that is why. So last year they went 78-84, finished in third place, 14 games back. The Pythagorean had them at 82-80. They had 696 runs scored and only gave up 684. Their top three players is Carlos Correa, Luis Arraez, Brian Buxton. Their top pitchers are Johan Duran, Sonny Gray, and Joe Ryan. Their key additions, huge addition right here, Mr. Carlos Correa. He was a giant, he was a Met, but he ended up being a Twinkie. All right? You got Pablo Lopez, great pitcher. Jose Salas, Christian Vasquez, Joey Gallo, I'm just going to hit bombs in right field. Michael A. Taylor, and you got Kyle Farmer as well. Losses are going to be Luis Arraez, Gio Urshela, and Gary Sanchez. All right? Your pitching staff is going to be looking like this, boys and girls. We got right on the, or I should say the starting lineup. Before we get their pitchers, let's get into the starting lineup. Starting lineup is going to be Christian Vasquez behind the plate, Alex Kirilloff at first, Jorge Polanco at second. Right now he's hurt, so it's going to be Nick Gordon filling in there. You got Carlos Correa at short, Jose Miranda at third, Joey Gallo playing left for now. You got center field Michael A. Taylor or Buxton, and right field you got Max Kepler. DH is going to be Buxton or Gallo. They're going to start Buxton out at the DH, give him a little time off from playing the field to start the year. You got your pitchers wise. You got Sonny Gray, Pablo Lopez, Joe Ryan, Taylor Mahle, Quinta Maeda, and then you got Bailey Ober as your sixth. Your closer is going to be Jorge Lopez. All right. Your setup guy is Johan Duran. Your setup guy, Griffin Jacks. Middle relief, Trevor Miguel. All right. Middle relief, Jorge Alcala. Emilio Pagan. Long is going to be Cole Sands. Lindor and Ronnie Henriquez. All right. Simeon Woods Richardson will be a guy that gets called up at some point. Baseball prospectus have going 88.2, 73.7, 73.8. I say they're a 91 team, possibly 85. Either way, or I should say 87, not 85. 87, 90 wins, 91 wins. They'll either get first or second. I'm guaranteeing a top two spot and a playoff team and a playoff spot. That's all I'm saying. All right. Next up, we got the Detroit Tigers, who really didn't do jack and squat because they're the Detroit Tigers. All right, they went 66-96 last year. They finished in fourth place, 26 games back. Their Pythagorean had them at 63-99. They scored 557 runs, 713 runs allowed. Javi Baez was their top player. Eric Hasse, Riley Green rounded that out. Your top pitchers was Tariq Skubal, Jose Cisnero, Matt Manning. Key additions was Michael Lorenzen. That's it. Key losses was Soto, Joe Jimenez, Tucker Barnhart, Daniel Norris, Himir Candelero, Andrew Chafin. Your starting lineup is going to look like this. Eric Haas, Spencer Torkelson at first, Jonathan Shoup at second, Javi Baez at short, Andy Ibanez at third, Akil Badu at left, Riley Green at center, Austin Meadows right, Miggy Cabrera as your DH. All right. Your pitching staff is going to look like this. Eduardo Rodriguez straight off the top. Matt Manning, Spencer Turnbull, Matthew Boyd, Michael Lorenzen. Tariq Skubal is going to be your sixth starter. You got your closer as Alex Lang, Jose Cisnero as your setup. Will Vest is another setup guy. All right. You got Jason Foley's middle relief, Freddie Pacalicto, and Miguel Diaz is your middle relief, and you got Joey Wentz and Alex Fado and Casey Casey Mize is your long, okay? Tigers need to do a lot of stuff. They need to do a complete rebuild. There's no way they're going to be anywhere that possible to be contention or anything. They need to do a huge salary dump. The baseball prospectus has them going 65 and 96. 65.2 and 96.8. I think it's going to be more like a 60 and a 102. I think they're going to lose over 100 games. All right. Last of the AL Central. And then we're going to have to finish this podcast after this one and start up the AL West on the next one, boys and girls. All right. Got to split that all up a little bit. Out here picking up kids, doing a podcast in the car right now. It's fantastic, let me tell you. So Kansas City Royals, Last year they went 65-97, finished in last place, 27 games back. Pythagorean 64-98. They had 640 runs scored, 810 runs allowed. Their top three players was Michael A. Taylor. He gone. Salvador Perez. Andrew Benintendi, and he only played until the trade, and he was only with them until the trade deadline. Then he went to New York, got hurt, and didn't play again. But he gone too. Top three pitchers are going to be Brady Singer, Scott Barlow, and Zach Greinke. Your key additions are going to be Jordan Lyles, Aroldis Chapman, and Ryan Yarbrough. Your key losses are Taylor, Mondesi, O'Hearn, and Miskowicz. All right. Your starting lineup is going to be Salvador Perez, your catcher. You got Vinny Pasquantino at first, Michael Massey at second, Bobby Witt Jr. at short, Hunter Dozier at third. You got Eaton in left. You got Kyle Isbell in center, and you got I didn't put a right fielder down for these boys, so how do you like that? But you got MJ Melendez at DH. Wow, that's twice. I really needed attention to detail, boys and girls. Be very attention to detail. Just saying. That's all I got to say about that. And sometimes my ADD brain just kicks in, and I'm not attentive to squat. Okay. Your starting pitcher is going to be right off the bump. Day one starter Brady Singer, Zach Greinke, number 2, Jordan Lyles 3, Ryan Yarbrough 4, Brad Keller 5. Do not pick up any of these guys on your fantasy baseball team. Just saying. All right, you got your closer. You got Scott Barlow. You also got closer Aroldis Chapman, a little left-righty punch. I don't know why. Royals are going to suck. All right, next up you got Dylan Coleman at your setup. You got Josh Stadema as setup, Amir Garrett middle relief, Richard Lovelady. Oh yeah, I got a little chuckle of this because if he doesn't go by Richard, then he's going to go by Dick. So it'll be Dick Lovelady. Just saying that. Have that one in your little baseball mind now, boys and girls. Every time he gets on the bump. All right, you got Jose Sinas as your middle relief. Your long is going to be Chris Bubik, Jonathan Heasley, and Jackson Kowar as your long. All right, I got my prediction. It's going to be more of the same. They lost a ton of best player. They lost their best player. They lost their third best player. They added nobody realistically. Yeah, their future is not bright. Okay, so really need another team that needs a real rebuild here. Baseball Prospectus has them going 63.7 and 98.3. I'm going to say they're 61-win team season. They beat the Tigers one more time than the Tigers beat them this year. That's all there is to it. All right. So that rounds out the old AL Central, AL East. We're going to top off with the AL West next on the next first when we start up the next podcast, the next episode. So that's where we're going to go with next. We'll do the AL West, and then we'll finish out the rest of it, and we'll do the NL East, or the NL teams as well. All right? So make sure to turn back into episode 2. That's going to be following this one. All right? Just hit that. Just keep playing. Just keep playing that, all right? So I'm Chad Cain, one guy with a mic, dingers and dunks. A lot of dingers. We don't dunk around here. We don't even make threes. We're more like a 15 feet and in type shooter. All right? So turn back in for part 2 of this episode. That's going to be right behind this. So all you got to do is just continue to listen, like I said. But, hey, in the meantime, while you're waiting for that to load back up, hit that follow button. Hit that bell so that way you know when I'm going to drop a new episode. And make sure you go comment on a tweet or something. All right? Go follow me on Twitter. All right? All right. I will see y'all in about 2 seconds. Later.
Hey there, sports history fan. This is Arnie Chapman, a.k.a. the Football History Dude, and I wanted to thank you for stopping by to listen to another episode here on the Sports History Network. Our podcasters are passionate about uncovering and sharing sports stories from yesteryear. And if you didn't know it already, we have over 30 shows across the network covering all sorts of sports history topics. In fact, here's a glimpse into one of our awesome podcasts here on the network.
The Pigskin Tales podcast is all about the lesser-known pro football players. Yes, there are stories about the ones we know, like Brad Tarkenton and Harold Red Grange. But have you ever heard of Ernie Nevers? How about Dave Osborne or even Grady Alderman? These men created their own path to the NFL. How did they do it? Listen to the Pigskin Tales podcast, now streaming on your favorite music platform. Go to pigskintales.com.
How about that? I bet you're super hyped to go listen to that new podcast, right? Well, to learn about this show and all the other podcasts on the network, head over to sportshistorynetwork.com/podcast. Again, that's sportshistorynetwork.com/podcast. Head over there today to find your next favorite sports history podcast.